So, this is my first live on my new group called Mum Life by Design. And I'm actually filming a video as well to go onto Instagram TV later on. So, I'm going to give this a go today. I don't expect too many people to see it, so I figure I'll practice. But I wanted to address today, as a mum of 6, there have been times where I can't get anything done. And it's so frustrating because you have this plan, you have a list, you have your agenda, and then everything just blows up in your face. You've got maybe sick kids, you've got somebody having a tantrum. There are just so many things that can go wrong with your day, and yet that's what being a parent is all about. So today I wanted to give you 10 tips, 10 really simple tips that you could start thinking about, discussing, either journaling or discussing with your partner, and giving yourself the opportunity to really reframe and rethink through the way that you view yourself being a parent. So number 1, I wanted to start with realistic expectations. I can speak. Realistic expectations. I think when we become parents, we have this idea of what we want it to be like. We want to be the best that we can be. We want things to be organised. And the reality is that raising kids is messy. It can be frustrating. There are times where it doesn't go our way. And so we need to put our children's needs ahead of our own. There are other times when putting their needs first includes looking after ourselves. But we need to be realistic. Real life is not Instagram. It is not about having all the perfect clothing. It's not about having the perfect images. It's not about having the perfect house. It's about developing connection with our children and meeting them where they're at. And so, that's probably one of the things I see a lot of parents get stuck on is their unrealistic expectations of what being a parent's going to be all about and how important what they're doing is, because they can be doing so many great things, but because nobody's there saying, that's it, that's the way to go, it can feel like, what's the point? Number 2, clear values. I cannot emphasize this enough. If you know your values as an individual, as well as if you're in a marriage or a partnership, to know what your values are as a family, it's the number 1 thing you can do to save yourself a whole lot of drama and worry and frustration. When you know what you value most, then you use this as a filter. So there might be 5 things that you need to get done, but if only 2 things can be achieved in a day, then you know that you're putting time and effort into the things that matter most. It's just, you need it because the reality is you can't get everything done. Number 3, have a mentor. So this could be a family member. This could be somebody independent, somebody like a coach that you can trust, somebody that has been there before, somebody who can give you perspective and wisdom. It could be somebody within a club, a sports community. It could be somebody at work. It could be somebody that you know, but you don't know really, really closely. So, for example, there might be somebody that you could approach from a church, or somebody you can approach from a friendship circle that maybe is a bit ahead of where you're at, and you can talk to them about some of the challenges you're facing and just hear their perspective. You don't have to take it all on board, but it can really help take the pressure down, or again, just give you the encouragement you need to know you're on the right track. Okay, I think we're up to number 4. And that is to reframe. No, we're up to, number 4, reframe. So here, try reframing frustrations that you're experiencing. So it's really easy to say, look at all the chaos and the noise and be frustrated, rather than seeing the joy that's in the household. Or perhaps you are really upset by having to hold back on the things you want to achieve. But instead reframe it as, wow, this is an opportunity for me to really develop patience and negotiation skills, and to really be able to be persistent in something that matters to me when there is no glory and there is no affirmation. That actually really stands you in good stead in the future. Number 6 is to bundle activities or tasks. I mean, this is pretty simple. I mean, you can go for a walk with a friend while taking kids to the park. You can get out and about. And while you're meeting your children's needs to have exercise and fresh air and just not be, cooped up at home, provided COVID is not a problem for you at the moment, you're also having your needs met in having a little bit of adult company, having the opportunity to connect with somebody and have your mental health taken care of, or your emotional needs, your desire for intellectual conversation or a good laugh or connection with another adult human being. That can be really important. I've lost count. So our next tip is daily versus weekly. Now, I love, love, love this. Over the years of being a mum, so I've been a mum now for coming up 21 years next year, I've definitely found that where I used to have this mindset of what needs to happen in a day in 24 hours, I now think in terms of what can happen over the course of a week. If I have a bad night's sleep, for example, due to a child being up and I only get 4 hours sleep, if I've had a good 7 hours sleep every other night of the week, I'm going to absorb that pretty easily. It's not really something to stress about. I'll bounce back. I'll probably get through the day, get to the end of the day and go, oh, that wasn't so bad. Or, for example, if I think in terms of all the activities and the housework that I want to get done, I might think in terms of what I can accomplish over the course of a week, not in a day. Because if I keep putting that pressure on myself within every 24 hours, there's no flexibility. So that's definitely an important one. Minimize surprises is next. Now, look, some things are unavoidable. Your kids are going to get sick. Somebody's going to need to get picked up from school. There might be an accident and a broken bone and you've got to get off to the hospital after a soccer game goes bad and there's a collarbone that's broken, and been there, done that. But there are many surprises that really aren't surprises. There was a birthday party coming up and now you didn't have a birthday gift ready to go. You really know that dinner's not on the table and I could have had that sorted. So there are simple things you can do to make sure that there are less surprises. You know what I mean? Spending ample time with your child so that they're not going to turn around and then have that tantrum or be pressing your buttons because their love tank isn't filled up, as it were. Next, we have discuss expectations. Now, some parents, especially when their children have gone from those young years where you're nurturing them and you're really patient with them, they actually get to a point where they can be a little bit manipulative. And let's face it, they are old enough to take responsibility for some things. So this one's one you'll have to work out if this suits you due to your children's ages. But if your children are old enough to make sure that they have got everything ready for school, then they need to be getting that done. Or if they're sleeping in and not getting the rest they need, and then it's causing the family to be late for getting to school and work on time, we need to have that conversation and say, look, the expectation is you're on top of this. In our household, one of my expectations is that you'll have your uniform ready, especially when you're, into high school. You don't turn around to me the next day and go, I didn't get it ready, Mum, can you write me a note? I am not your ticket out of getting into trouble at school if you're not organised. So we'll all have different takes on these things, but I'm just sharing. Tag team. Now, if you are in a situation where you have family support, either you're married, you have a partner, you have other children in the household who are willing to help, you might instill a little agreement. This has worked really well for Adam and I over the years, and that's tag team. If I'm right at my wit's end, it might be like 5 o'clock in the afternoon and I've been with the kids all day. We really have that understanding that I can come to him and say, look, tag team, you're up. I can't do this anymore. I need to go and step outside. I need to take a breather. I need to have a cuppa. I need to go and just jump in the shower, whatever it might be. And he has my back every time, and vice versa. There are times he's like, I can't cope anymore. And so we do a switch. And finally, number 10. I know it's number 10 because it's the last one. Take the pressure down. This goes hand in hand with be realistic. Don't set unrealistic expectations. But this one I like because I think that sometimes raising kids is such a huge commitment and achievement. And it is so easy to miss the little things we do that are unseen. They go unacknowledged and unappreciated. And so we can feel like, well, what does it matter? I'm not getting paid. Nobody's seeing what I'm doing. Nobody's affirming me. And so it's really important that when you have those days where things are chaotic, that you bring the pressure down, that you lower the bar to raise the bar. You know, even this morning, for example, I was doing a workout that was way beyond what I'm able to do at this point. And I started feeling really discouraged. So as I tried to match this woman that was leading the workout, it wasn't helpful. But when I dropped my expectations and I took the pressure down and went, okay, let's take the exercise from this right down to its most basic state or form, I was actually most effective. My body really felt it, and I felt comfortable, and I felt like I was achieving something. So don't underestimate the importance of taking the pressure down. It takes out the sting, it takes out the stress, it takes out I think it really just allows you to come back to the basics and say, hey, what matters most right now? Connection, love, whatever your values are, and come back to those things. And remember that, you're doing a great job, that tomorrow's a new day. You can let today go and, take that pressure down. So they are my 10 tips today. The idea here is Mum Life by Design is that we're able to be really intentional about our parenting, no matter what your situation is. Single mum, working mum, stay-at-home mum, married mum. I don't care what it is. I think each of us needs to find what works for us, because nobody knows their own household, their own personalities, their own dynamics the way that they do. And so I just want to empower you and encourage you today that you can make those decisions for yourself and your family and really own it and feel good about that. So anyway, that's it from me. Thank you all for watching, seeing as I'm the only member in this group so far, but I'm going to start rocking up anyhow, and I hope that at some point this little clip will be beneficial for somebody out there. I'm interested in the one, even if it's the one. So let me know if this has been helpful, or if there's something else you'd like me to speak into, and I will gladly do my best. See you later. Now I've got to try and find where the stop button is here on this live here. Okay, that's it for today. Bye.